Hello, divine, messy humans, and welcome back if you are a previous listener, and welcome if you're new. We are so pleased to have you here today. So, the energy today has been really strange. It's International Women's Day, which has been an interesting thing for me, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And it's also the Virgo Full Moon. So, let me start with International Women's Day. I have had a number of invitations to different events over the last few weeks, and there's this massive part of me who really, really wants to go and socialize with these gorgeous women and network, just share some love with them. And to celebrate the fact that when women work together and support one another, we can really, really make magic happen. I truly believe that the rising tide raises all the boats, that there is enough room for all of us around that table, and that we all deserve a seat. And when you get around groups of like-minded women, it feels magical and heartfelt and soulful. And yet, when all of these invitations came into me, something stopped me from pressing book. And usually, as soon as I'd see the invite, I would have done the booking, ordered my ticket, and put it in my diary. But something kept stopping me. And I am a big believer that if it's not a hell yes, a full body yes, then it's a no. And for some reason, I kept getting this hesitation. And for me, energetically, hesitation doesn't always mean a direct no. Sometimes it's a not right now. Wait for more information. But either way, I knew that I wasn't supposed to move forward with those events, despite wanting to go and see these incredible people that were attending. Fast forward from those invitations to today, and I have woken up feeling quite lethargic. I still went for my big walk with the dog. I was up early for a podcast interview. I still went to my hot yoga. But during yoga, my body was just feeling different. I wasn't quite as balanced as normal. My legs were a little bit crampy. I didn't feel that energy flow that I usually feel. It felt a little bit stagnant. And as much as I still loved being there, I was listening to my body, and I realized in that moment why I was given all those moments of hesitation in the weeks before when those tickets were on the table. Now, even though I know that, and I know when I see the photos of the events, I will feel FOMO, there's this deep knowing in me that something bigger guides me. And so having today to rest, to release and to be, rather than pushing and striving, rather than putting on a happy, energetic face when I'm feeling not quite as extroverted as I would like to feel when I go to socialize in these types of events. It just amazes me, the synchronicities that work out for us. That whole life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you aspect proves itself true time and time again. I know when ticket sales all closed for those events, there was that bit of sadness that came up. Damn it, I've missed it. And also waking up today, I realized exactly why. So let me talk to you a little bit about the Virgo full moon. Since I've been honoring moon cycles, which really started when I started studying kinesiology, when I started tapping into that mind-body-spirit connection, it changed something in me. It allowed me to understand myself at a deeper level, to be able to understand my cycle better, and to be able to understand my workflows better. And especially as a small business owner who is a solopreneur, who has a million balls in the air at any one time and also regularly drops some because of the messy humanness, by the way, I know that I need to be able to balance the being with the doing and the doing with the being. Now, with the full moon and honoring those cycles, the full moon is a time that we release, we let go. The new moon is our time for setting intentions, and when we get to the full moon, it's about reviewing those intentions and seeing what we need to release and let go of so that we can move forward with our plans. Even though there is outward energy, there is that shining a light aspect of the full moon, there is also this balance of resting, releasing, being with what is there. And because of that, I think it's a great time for us to tune into our intuition, to tune into our inner wisdom and to see what it's trying to tell us. For me, the big message today was rest. Look after yourself. I have felt like I'm walking through molasses all day. So I've been more slow, more deliberate. I've watched some videos that I've wanted to catch up on from some of my gorgeous mentors and people that I'm connected with. And I've been in much more of an inward-facing, reflective type mood. Now, I don't know what I'm releasing, by the way. What I am doing is being curious about what feelings are coming up in me today, why they might be there, and what they might be showing me or telling me. When we look at our emotions and we honor them, I call that emotional fluency, being able to give them a name and being able to honor their existence. As we build our emotional fluency, I think there is an element of not just recognizing the emotion that's there and acknowledging that it is telling us something, validating why it's existing, but also recognizing the stories that we are telling ourselves about those emotions. Do we have judgments about those emotions? They call those meta emotions. And meta emotions are feelings we have about feelings, stories we have about those emotions that we're feeling in our body. The more work I've done, the less judgment I've been able to sit in with what my body is telling me. The more I've realized that emotions are energy in motion. So on days like today, where I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed by the energy that is out there, I am able to retreat into my shell with self-compassion, with empathy, with grace, and with curiosity as to what my body is trying to tell me. Like I say, I don't have clarity on what I'm releasing yet. And what do I do in these times? Well, one, as I've said to you, I honor my emotions, I have compassion for myself, and I have empathy. But I also book a session with my mentor. Funnily enough, I booked one this morning for my mentor for next week. Now, this gives me a few days to work through what I believe it is, how I see things from my point of view, how I understand the landscape within myself. And then next week, I can take it to my mentor and gain different perspective, gain different clarity and insights on what else might be at play. I can't delve into my own subconscious and heal that part of myself or look into that because I'm too close to it. I have blind spots. That's part of being messily human. That's part of being in that state of having a conscious, an unconscious, a subconscious, and being okay with that. That despite all these tools that I have, all of these books that I've read, I'm not always going to have the answer. And this is where I look at it being internal scaffolding, so that those internal tools that we have, and external scaffolding of professional support, of loving people who can guide us to expansion and growth. So when you're feeling those big energetic feels, can you give yourself permission to take a step back, to recognize that you might need a day of rest, that you might need a day without pushing and striving and fighting and hustling and grinding, to use those lovely social media meme words. And can you allow yourself the space to let your emotions flow up, be seen, be accepted, and not be judged for showing themselves to you? I look at emotions as a guidepost. Those that feel amazing in my body are telling me, yes, I want more of that. And those that feel less good in my body are telling me, less of that, thank you. It is messages from my soul about what's going on around me and what's going on in my subconscious too. Because sometimes, like today, there is nothing going on external to me that should be affecting me and creating that tiredness, creating that feeling of lethargy. So I know that it's internal stuff. It's energy stuff. It's how I'm relating to the moon phases. It's how I'm relating to what's going on under the surface, and it's how I'm tying those together. And knowing this about those moon cycles, knowing that there are times to set intentions, that there are times to release and let go, that there are times for motion, there are times for stillness, there are times for planning and action, and there are times for reflection. Knowing that there is this balance, divine balance over the course of the month that we can use to harness our energy has just changed everything for me. And I'm going to invite some guests on soon to talk to us about how we can use the moon in just different ways, how we can relate to it and get information from it and really harness it for our highest good. So if you're struggling with energy, ask yourself, what do I need right now? What is the most loving thing I can do for myself? What is in my highest good? So for me, I had promised that I would get a podcast episode out today, and I'm going to tick that box. But so many other things are going to be parked until tomorrow. And what I am going to do tonight is have a beautiful online meeting with a few gorgeous women, celebrate International Women's Day, work out what I do need to release this full moon, and then have a really good night's sleep, knowing then that tomorrow is a different day. And it's not just actually even about tomorrow being a different day. I just caught myself saying those words. The next minute will be a different minute. The next 10 minutes will be different 10 minutes. I don't need to wait till tomorrow to reset my energy, come to think of it. I can allow what is to be and accept it without judgment and hold all of these conflicting things that I feel within me right now as comfortably as I can and with as little judgment as I can to get myself ready for the next energetic bit of work I need to do to lead to my transformation, my expansion, and my growth. So, beautiful, divine, messy humans, what can you do to honor yourself today? Can you know and recognize whether or not you need more rest? Can you give yourself permission to allow yourself more rest and more space to be? Or is this one of those days where you've got enough energy to be outward facing, to be more bubbly and exuberant and extroverted? Do you use the moon to help inform what you do, either in your day-to-day work or in your relationships? Do you honor your cycles? I'd be really interested to hear from you. Remember, you are always connected to the divine. We are all messy humans. And accepting and knowing that makes our human experience so much easier. Sending you love.